guys, welcome back to the channel McNallie Money, home of all things stock, investment, and personal finance related. For today's video, we've got a really interesting one for you. The company name is NevGold Corporation. There's a lot to be excited about with this organization, and I'm going to walk you through exactly what I mean in today's presentation. Now, before we get into it, please take a second, hit the like button, you guys. It's a huge help to myself and the channel. If you're not already subscribed, McNallie Money, feel free to do so. And let me know in the comment section below what you think of NevGold, if you're currently holding shares, and how you think they stack up to some of the other players in the gold mining and exploration space. Now, with that being said, let's get into today's video. Okay guys, so that's right. Today's video, we're going to be covering NevGold Corporation, trades on the OTC in the United States under the ticker symbol NAUFF, and in Canada here on the TSX Venture under the ticker symbol NAU. Now this one's super exciting. This is an advanced stage gold exploration company. They've got multiple different assets, which we're going to look at in today's presentation. And I found an article that lays out a very bullish scenario for this company moving forward. Now, before we get into that, I wanted to take a quick look at the chart. We'll refer back to this a little bit later in the presentation. This is as of Friday, September 2nd. You can see they're down about 3% on the trading session, currently sitting at about 33 cents US, giving them a market cap in the neighborhood of about $20 to $21 million US. Now, if we look at a chart, this is a one-year chart. You can see NevGold has been fairly active throughout the year. If we look back to December or the end of 2021, we were trading right around that 33-cent range, and we saw two highs, one at the start of April, where NevGold actually hit about 64 cents US, and another peak in June 6th to be exact, where they hit about 61 cents. So we do see strong support in the low 30 range, and that's why I think this may present a great buying opportunity if you're looking for some mining or exploration exposure within your portfolio. Now, if we jump over to the Canadian side of things here, you can see they're trading at 45 cents Canadian, giving NevGold a market cap sub $30 million, again, allowing you to really get in at the ground floor in this high growth up and coming company. Now, to kick things off, for those of you who aren't super familiar with NevGold, we've covered a number of gold-related companies on the channel. This is a space I personally am very drawn to. I find it very attractive for a number of reasons. And again, we're going to talk about that as we move through today's presentation. But you can see the NevGold landing page, right team, right place, right time, the right way. And what that really means, you guys, is they've got a lot of the pieces already set up or the foundation in place to make this company a success. So as you can see, this is an advanced stage gold exploration and development company focused in Nevada, hence the name NevGold. They also have some properties outside of Nevada, which we're going to talk about. And one specifically is in an untapped high-grade polymetallic district of British Columbia here in Canada. Now, if we continue to scroll down, you can see there's a lot of valuable information on the corporate website. I'll leave a link in the video description below if you want to go in and take a closer look for yourself. Corporate presentation, a view of their project portfolio with the management group at NevGold. And if we actually jump into the corporate presentation here, I wanted to show you guys a quick look at their various different assets. So you can see there's 4 total locations. The first of which is this Ptarmigan location in BC, Canada. This is that high-grade silver, gold, and copper project, which I just referred to in the intro there. It's a polymetallic region, and it's got very impressive historic drill results at this location. Now, they also have Nutmeg Mountain in Idaho, which has a number of key differentiators, including good infrastructure, strong exploration potential, similar geology to the Nevada locations, and over 910,000 ounces indicated and 160,000 ounces inferred. So a huge deposit or potential opportunity in the state of Idaho. And then the 2 Nevada locations on the left here are Limousine, Butte, which has exceptional resource expansion potential and again, very high grade deposits. And then the second location is known as Cedar, which is a promising gold and silver project with significant exploration upside. And we're actually going to talk about each of these locations in a little bit more detail as we move into the next article. Now, with that being said, the other thing I quickly wanted to draw your attention to, and we're actually going to see some of these names again in the next article as it relates to some insider buying at this company, which is an extremely bullish sign, is the executive or leadership team at NevGold. Now, as we've discussed on the channel previously, a lot of these smaller type of companies, you guys, you really are investing in the leadership team and the management group behind the companies. And that's exactly what you're getting with the executive team at NevGold. So again, I would highly encourage you to go in, take a look at their past work experience, their educational backgrounds, and some of the various different connections and expertise they bring to the table if you're looking to make an investment in this organization. So now that we have a little bit of an understanding what NevGold is all about, their various different assets or locations, the leadership team behind this company, I wanted to jump over to this article I found from goldmarketresearch.com. Again, I'll leave a link to the article in the video description below. And this article is really interesting because it lays out 5 reasons why they believe NevGold is really on the cusp of a major breakout and why this company deserves to be on your watch list. So I wanted to walk you guys through this in a little bit more detail. Again, you can see the 2 ticker symbols up top on the OTC and the TSX Venture. The article goes on to say Goldman Sachs has now raised their gold price target to $2,500 US an ounce by the end of this year. And this junior miner, which is NevGold, already has over 1.1 million ounces of gold resources and is looking to deliver over 3 million ounces by Q1 of next year. So NevGold Corp has a clear path to produce a 3+ million gold ounce resource base in Western United States and the potential to more than 10x its current valuation. So this definitely got my attention. Again, a company you may want to consider adding to your personal watch list. So the article then goes on to lay out these 5 reasons why they believe NevGold is a great pick for 2022. And this is really what I wanted to focus on for the duration of today's video. So the number 1 reason really has to do with inflation. So this is probably a term you've heard a ton this year. US inflation is absolutely raging. It's now reached 8.5% as of March of 2022. And as a result, experts at Wells Fargo and Goldman Sachs, which are some of the biggest investment firms in the world, are predicting a commodity supercycle with gold itself. And gold for a long time has been seen as a safe haven asset, a place to park your wealth. And that's why many experts believe this is a great hedge against inflation. Now, number 2, you guys, gold could be a big winner in a possible supercycle scenario. So related to point number 1, Jeff Curry again predicts a price of up to $2,500 per ounce by the end of 2022. So significant upside from where gold is currently trading in the $1,700 range. The third point, and this is something we've talked about on the channel previously, in relation to a lot of resource-based companies, not specifically just gold, but gold mining stocks have traditionally or historically outperformed physical gold bullion by double digits in the past 2 gold bull markets. So what that means is as the price of gold or the underlying commodity actually increases, companies that are associated with gold mining actually over-index and outperform that percentage increase. So NevGold, the stock itself, is actually up year to date, while many of the most popular junior mining ETFs are actually negative. So again, we're going to refer back to that stock chart that we saw in the intro in a couple of minutes here. The 4th point laid out by Gold Market Research: if NevGold is able to deliver on their projected 3 million ounce marker, that could drive a potential increase of their market cap by more than 10x, you guys. So that's what we're all looking for in the markets, those 10 baggers or 10x companies where you can really make those significant returns. And number 5, last but not least, NevGold insiders appear to be all in. So again, the leadership and executive team that we just looked at are aggressively purchasing this stock. They've been continually buying shares and have not sold a single share in the last 12 months, which is an extremely bullish indicator as an outsider looking to make a potential investment. So with that being said, now I wanted to expand on these points in a little bit more detail. Now, we've all heard the quote, "Whoever has the gold makes the rules." And this statement here, you can see they specifically call out gold has been looked at traditionally as a store of wealth for thousands of years. It's no different now. Governments and central banks, again, are printing money continually. A lot of people really don't trust these centralized institutions, and wealth must be protected. So inflation is raging. We just talked about some of those mind-blowing numbers we've seen out of the US, and the Federal Reserve is continuing to increase interest rates in an effort to combat inflation. So a lot of people are looking for a safe place to park their money, and gold and related gold mining companies really seem to be attracting a lot of investor attention. And those macro factors are exactly why chief analysts at Goldman Sachs, like Jeff Currie, have continued to raise their target price of gold. So there's that $2,500 price target we talked about in the intro, and this is really driven by a couple of factors. So number one is strong investor demand for gold based on these concerns about inflation and the recessionary fears we're continually hearing. Central banks are buying gold, so some of the biggest countries in the world, like Russia, who have really had a lot of sanctions put on their currency, are flooding to the gold market. China and Turkey are buying gold to diversify out of US dollar, and central bank demand overall for gold is up 750 tons, which is an all-time record for this commodity. Now, on top of all that, the physical demand for gold from China and India is also at all-time highs. So using gold for physical assets like jewelry, for example, and because of these various different macro trends, Jeff Currie has gone on record saying this is the strongest demand from all three channels we've ever seen. The last time we saw this type of demand strength was from 2010 to 2011, where we actually saw gold rally by 70%. And keep in mind, that's the core asset itself, not necessarily the companies which are associated with gold mining and gold exploration. And as I referred to earlier in the presentation, these type of stocks often over-index or outperform the actual commodity price of gold itself. So that being said, a great example of that, from 2000 to 2011, the gold bull market, or the price of physical gold itself, rose by about 550%. So that's an extremely impressive return that a lot of people would be very happy with. But over that same period of time, gold mining equities, or companies that were involved in gold mining, returned an average of 690%. So that's what I mean when stocks often outperform the actual commodity price itself. Now, fast forward to 2015, which was really the start of the current gold bull market we find ourselves in. Gold mining stocks on average are up about 182%, whereas gold bullion is up only 78% in that time period. So again, another great example of how companies associated with gold mining and exploration can actually outperform the moves we see in gold bullion. And that's what really sets the stage to make some of these players like NevGold the star of the show in 2022. So we already talked about their assets briefly in the intro. So NevGold already has two advanced stage gold projects. We saw the first in Nevada, Limousine, Butte, and the second in Idaho, which was Nutmeg Mountain, which they actually acquired back in July of this year. The company has now finished a 10,000 meter drill program in Nevada, and they're actually now planning for additional drill programs at both of these locations in the back half of this year. Now, in addition to their promising drill results, they've also completed financing totaling about $8.3 million Canadian since June of last year, so they're well financed to continue to support these drill projects. And these assets are located in places which are known to be some of the world's finest gold deposits. So when they talk about being in the right place at the right time, that's exactly what the team at NevGold is referring to. Now, another factor that's super exciting about both of these advanced stage locations is both projects are what's known as oxide open pit gold projects. So what that means is they're actually very low cost in terms of their mining. They're highly economical, and they can take advantage of a process known as heap leaching, which is the lowest cost form of gold production and gives NevGold the opportunity to make money in any gold price environment. So this opens up the door and conversation for potential purchase or buyout opportunities down the road from mid to large cap gold producing companies. Now, the next couple of points discussed by this article really have to do with the drill results and the amount of gold found at these locations. So as mentioned, they've already completed their initial drill program at Limousine Butte in Nevada. And during that program, they identified a number of other targets within the asset that look extremely lucrative. Now, on top of that, they acquired the Nutmeg Mountain project in Idaho back in July of this year. This is a 1.1 million ounce gold resource project, and they're expecting to start their drill program in Q3 of this year at that location. So based on the results of that drill program, there's potential to actually grow this resource to 2+ million ounces of gold. So that really leads us to the investment opportunity behind NevGold. and how Gold Market Research came up with this 10x return scenario. So if we actually take a look at the numbers, back on August 11th, NevGold was trading in the $22 million market cap range. And if you look at the industry standard or peers in this space, companies are trading at a multiple of about $84 per ounce of gold in the ground. So if NevGold is able to deliver on that 3 million ounce marker that we talked about a little bit earlier, that would give them a market cap on the low end of about $200 million using that same $84 per ounce calculation. So that's where that 10x multiple really comes into play, taking them from the current market cap of right around $20 or $21 million to $200 million based on the amount of gold that they have in the ground between these various different assets. And this chart here really breaks down those calculations in a little bit more detail and leads to the possibility of what's known as a valuation re-rate as the assets they have continue to become more advanced and as a result increasingly de-risked from an investor perspective. Now, in terms of NevGold's historical share price action, you can see lately gold miners in general have been taking a beating. So as of May 11th of this year, Vanguard's junior mining ETF was down about 9.5% year to date. So that's why I said a little bit earlier that gold mining ETFs are actually down this year. In the meantime, though, as we saw in the intro, NevGold has actually bucked that trend and they're up for the year. And at the time this article was put together, or as of May 11th of this year, they were actually up about 38% year to date. Now, as you can see, as of May 11th, shares were trading at 45 cents US compared to about 33 cents per share today, meaning you're able to actually acquire shares at a much better price than you could have only a couple of months ago. And as we all know, the goal with investing is to buy low, sell high. So if you love NevGold in the 45 cent range, you should absolutely be taking a good look at it in the 30 or 35 cent range we see today. Now, with that being said, the next portion I wanted to talk about here is really the executive or leadership team that we looked at in the intro. So the CEO of this company, Brandon Bonifacio, is a relatively young and very well-respected individual in the gold mining industry. He comes from NevGold Corp Incorporated, and from 2015 to 2020, Brandon collaborated to help the company conduct $5 billion worth of asset acquisitions and divestitures. So again, very experienced in the industry with a ton of connections. And throughout the course of Brandon's career, he's worked with some of the best experts in the mining industry and has the experience and know-how of how some of the biggest operators or the inner workings of these large gold mining companies actually work. And not to mention, if you look at some of the insider transactions over the last couple of months here, you guys, you can see Brandon himself, so the CEO of this company, has been purchasing a ton of shares off the open market in the range of about 39 to 45 cents US. In addition to that, we've seen a number of other insider buys in the 40 cent range. So again, based on the current share price at 33 cents US, you're actually able to pick up shares of NevGold for a better price than the CEO himself over the last few months. And then finally, the article goes on to talk about the final two properties that we identified in the intro. So the Ptarmigan project in BC, Canada here, which is a region that's known for historically high-grade gold opportunities. And then last but not least, the Cedar Wash project, again, the second location in Nevada. And the cool thing about this property is it's referred to as open in all directions, which means there's a lot of opportunity to expand as they begin their exploration activities at this location. And with that being said, the article then wraps up by saying that's exactly why NevGold needs to be on your radar, your watch list. Commodity prices across the board have been on an absolute tear this year. We've seen it in a number of different companies we've reviewed on this channel. We've seen a little bit of a calm right now, or perhaps a calm before the storm. And NevGold, as we've seen in today's presentation, really is in perfect position to take advantage of this opportunity as we start to see gold rally in what's referred to as that super cycle breakout. So to close things off, you guys, I wanted to jump back into the investor presentation and leave you with this slide here. So why NevGold should really be on your radar. Number one is those 4 advanced stage district scale projects that we talked about throughout today's presentation. So Nevada, Idaho, and British Columbia here in Canada. Their highly seasoned executive team led by Brandon with over 175 years of combined experience and a proven track record of project advancement, exploration, M&A activity, construction, and permitting. And then the third point here, a strong balance sheet, fully funded for their drill programs, tight capital structure, and that strong insider ownership and a ton of insider buying over the last few months with zero insider selling. So right now, insiders own about 50% of the shares outstanding. And on top of that, they've got very strong strategic investor ownership with over 10% of their shares held by gold mining and McEwen coming in at 9.5%. So they've got that clear path to 3+ million ounces of gold. They're targeting multi-million ounce deposits by unlocking resource expansion and exploration upside. And they've got that substantial or significant re-rating potential, which is really going to alert a lot of investors to this organization. So for those reasons, you guys, I definitely think NevGold is worth a closer look. I'd be super curious to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. What do you think of this organization? Are you currently holding shares? And how do you think NevGold stacks up to some of the other players in this space? If you're still watching the video at this point, hopefully you found some value, so make sure you hit the like button. And if you're not currently subscribed to the channel, McNallie Money, feel free to do so. We'd love to have you as part of the community. That's all for now. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.